we go. All right, so this is engaging with email marketing. My name's Carly. I work with internal marketing here at webFEAT Complete, and email marketing is one of the big things that I do with that. So before we jump into all the details about email marketing, we wanted to let you guys know that we do have another webinar coming up in 2 weeks on August 19th. Jake is going to be taking you through Google Ads and how to get your money's worth out of Google Ads. So that should be really fun. Stay tuned for that. You can sign up on our website and we'll be sending out the registration link to that once this is over. So again, right before we get into it, I wanted to talk a little bit about our SEOs team's certifications and expertise. We do have Google Ads certifications, a ton of different HubSpot certifications. I'm personally certified in HubSpot email marketing. That course is amazing. It teaches you so much about email marketing and how to be successful with it. And combined, we have over 30 plus years of experience in our department. We regularly attend conferences. We read up on all the news and going-ons in the industry because we really feel that our continued learning becomes your continued success. Which is essential when you're trying to figure out what kind of company that you want to work with and who you want to help you with your own digital marketing. You want to work with a company that's going to be dedicated and committed to their own learning and to making sure that we're up to date on all the news and everything that's growing and changing, because digital marketing as a whole grows and changes daily. So we're committed to making sure that we are always up to date and on par with what's going to be best for you and your business. So on the agenda for today, so you kind of know where we're headed with this, we're going to start talking about what is email marketing and specifically what is an email marketing campaign, because that's more of what we're going to focus on today. Then we'll jump into some email marketing misconceptions, some things that you might have heard about email marketing that really aren't true. And from there, we'll go into the benefits of email marketing and how it can really help your company achieve success. And then we'll get into the details of probably what you're here to really learn about is how to get started with email marketing and how to build your own email marketing campaign for your business. And then relatedly, we'll learn how to track those emails and track your email marketing campaign to see how successful you are with it and how it's really helped you grow your business. From there, we'll talk a little bit about some shady email practices and some things that you'll probably want to stay away from. I'll give you some examples of good and bad email campaigns that we've received, and then we'll round everything out with tools that we use to help us with our own email marketing campaigns, and then there will be a time for questions at the end. If you do have questions during the presentation, feel free to send them in the chat box, and either myself or one of my team members will address the question. So without further ado, let's get going. So first off, let's talk a little bit about what email marketing is. So email marketing is the overall act of sending a commercial message using email. So when I say that, you're probably thinking, does that mean that every email that I exchange with my customer is considered email marketing? And the answer is yes. Every conversation, every interaction that you have with a customer is a form of marketing. It's a form of you putting on your brand and really being an advocate for that brand. So every time that you have a chance to communicate with a customer, that's a form of marketing. And every email that you exchange with a potential or current customer becomes a building block for a meaningful relationship with them. And then email marketing campaigns rather are a coordinated set of emails sent to a specific audience with an intended purpose for the email, such as having them fill out a contact form or making a purchase on your website. So the whole point of an email campaign is to achieve some sort of goal, like a contact form submission or a purchase or getting people to sign up for something. Like when we send out our webinar emails, the purpose of that is to get people to sign up to join our webinars. Or maybe you're offering a discount code and you want people to use that discount code and go and make a purchase on your website. So here's a couple of examples of email campaigns that we've received. This is one that I received while planning for this webinar. It's from Acoustic, another digital marketing company, and it's very clear that you can see what the purpose of the email is, and that is to get people to sign up for the webinar. They have a brief title, COVID-19 Benchmark Webinar, Email Marketing in a Post-Pandemic World. It goes into a brief description of what the webinar is. It gives you a link to sign up for it with some more details about it, and then a little bit more information about all of that, and then another link at the bottom. So it's very clear, very straightforward, to the point. You know that they have a purpose of getting you to sign up for this webinar. And then here's another one that I received from the Green Bay Packers. You can take one look at it and see that this is an email advertising for their art contest. That's the first thing that you see in big bold letters, is the words art contest. And it kind of funnels you down. It gives you information about the contest, what you can receive to encourage you to apply or enter the contest, and then the button to enter now. And the purpose of this email is to get people to enter the contest. And then the last one is a sales advertisement. That's, again, the very first thing you see in big bold letters. It says sale, it has 40% off in bright red, and then it takes you down and gives you a little bit more information about the sale. But the purpose of this email is to advertise for that sale, and it's very clear and descriptive in that. So now we're going to jump into some common email marketing misconceptions. I only have a few in this presentation just for time's sake, but I do have a blog posted on our website that one of my team members is going to share in the chat, and I'll also be sending out in an email follow-up that goes through more email marketing misconceptions, because there are so many. Doing research for this, I found 50 to 100 different things that people believe about email that just really isn't true, and that may be holding you back from investing in email marketing. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is the misconception that sending too many emails will annoy my customers, or people already receive too many emails. And while it is true that there's a correlation between email frequency and unsubscribe rates, this doesn't mean that your results are going to be negatively impacted by sending too many emails. You should view every email as a new opportunity to present something different and something valuable to your readers. And as long as your emails are adding that value and giving your customers something that they want, you're on the right track. The second misconception is that you should be worried about people unsubscribing from your lists, when in reality, unsubscribes aren't necessarily a huge cause for concern. While yes, you do want your emails to reach as many people as possible, unsubscribes do a lot of good for you in your email campaign and in analyzing them. Unsubscribers tell you a lot of things about your email. They can tell you that maybe you're sending your emails to the wrong list of people, and what you have to say really isn't relevant to that group of people. Or they can help clear out your database if someone unsubscribes from your email. Let's say you're a restaurant and you're sending out an email about your weekly specials to people, and someone who used to frequent your restaurant a lot has since moved. So they're getting your emails and they're opening them, but they're not clicking on any of the links because they can't go to that restaurant anymore. They don't live there. So they unsubscribe from your email. And while it's sad to see them go and sad that they won't be on your list anymore, they're ultimately helping your bottom line of getting that higher click-through rate and getting those conversions on your email, because that's the whole point, is to get people to do something from your email. And then the third misconception is that email marketing is a dying channel, which just really, it's not true. Research shows that the majority of consumers prefer email. And in fact, in 2017, Statista reported that 49% of consumers want to receive brand emails. And when you think about it, like, I want to know when sales are going on. I want to know when restaurants are offering free drinks. I want to know weekly specials and things like that. So as long as you're really seeking to add value in your emails and seeking to give that value to your customers, you're going to see success with it, and it's not going to be a dead method of advertising as long as that's your focus of the emails. So now we'll do a brief discussion on some of the benefits of email marketing. The very first one is that email marketing allows you to connect with your audience on a more personal level and start forming that relationship. There's a lot of different things that you can do with email nowadays, where you can put the person's name in the subject line or put the person's name directly in the email body. And it really helps to just start solidifying your brand assertiveness and solidifying that you want to build a relationship with this person and that this person matters to your company. Another really good thing that email marketing helps with is it helps to nurture sales leads. So for example, let's say you're an appliance company and someone comes in to buy a dishwasher from you and they work with the sales guy and they talk to him, but ultimately the sale isn't sealed, the sale isn't closed. They don't end up buying that dishwasher. The sales guy goes and puts their information, their name and their phone number and all that good stuff into your database. And then when you, the marketing manager, go to send an email out that week, you send your weekly email blast out to these people like refrigerators or these people need washing machines. That person who came in to buy a dishwasher gets put on a list to receive an email about the benefits of your newest dishwasher that's on the line. And maybe they open that email and they click on the link to your newest blog post about why this is the best dishwasher that they've ever heard of. And then they come in and ultimately make the sale. So it really is a good tool to help you establish that trust with the people who want to work with you and establish yourself as an expert with them and nurture the sales leads for your salespeople. And then hand in hand with that, it also helps you to target specific audiences. So you can specifically send emails to people who have come in and said that they're interested in buying a dishwasher. Or if you have someone on your list who 10 years ago purchased a washing machine and that washing machine is starting to get outdated and old, it'll trigger, if you segment it properly, it'll be triggered for them to receive an email about your newest washing machines that are on the line so that they know that, hey, maybe it's time to buy a new washing machine. And then last but not least, the last benefit of email marketing is that it's an extremely low cost with an extremely high return on investment. Email marketing statistically yields $38 for every $1 spent, which is a 3,800% ROI, which is absolutely crazy. So it's really worth the investment and worth you putting your time into it because the rewards can be so crazy amazing. So now we will jump into getting started with email marketing, how you establish your email marketing plan. And the very first step of anything to do with email marketing is setting a goal. And this first step is to set a goal for your emails as a whole. So this is your whole email marketing plan, not your individual emails that you're going to send out because those will each have a goal as well, but the plan as a whole. So you want to determine what your email marketing plan is supposed to achieve. Is it to increase sales? Is it to inform people about a cause? And while the goal needs to be somewhat broad, like increase sales, it still also needs to follow SMART goal guidelines, which we'll discuss. So if you've been in any kind of business class or anything like that, you've heard of SMART guidelines or SMART goals. They're specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So by specific, because I know I said that each individual email campaign will have its own specific goal, your goal itself still needs to be specific in that you can't just say, I want my email plan to increase sales. You need to have some kind of value added to it. I want my email plan to increase sales by 5% would be a good specific goal to have. And then that goal also needs to be measurable. You need to have some kind of idea of how you're going to measure whether or not you met that goal. It needs to be attainable. So you probably don't want to have a goal of increasing sales by 3,000% because it just doesn't seem realistic. It doesn't seem like something that you can accomplish if you put the work in. It needs to be relevant to your company and to your business. So if you're a nonprofit organization, your goal probably isn't going to be to increase sales. And then it needs to be time bound. So you don't want to say that I'm going to increase sales by 5% eventually. You want to have some kind of limit on it so you can set benchmarks for yourself and kind of track it along the way. So it would make sense to say, I want to increase sales increase sales by 5% in 1 year. So on the topic of goal setting, step 2 is to set a goal for each individual campaign. So that's each email that you send out should have some kind of goal attached to it. What do you specifically want to accomplish with that email campaign? Are you promoting a recent blog post? Are you trying to sell a specific product? You need to go into it with that goal in mind because that'll help with writing the whole email and figuring out who you're sending the email to and all of that. Step 3 is to identify your target audience. So who will be receiving your email? If you're trying to advertise to sell a specific kind of shoes, who needs to receive that email to buy those shoes? Who is the most likely person that is going to make that purchase? Who do you want to take that specific action outlined in your goal? And then step 4 is to segment your email list based on who you want to target. So if you want to target people, let's say you have a new kind of running shoe. So you'll segment your email list of all these people who buy shoes out into the list of people who will buy running shoes. And then make sure you have that email list fitting that specific set of criteria, so that you can send the email to that list that will be most likely to take action from the email. And then step 5 is to determine your schedule. So when are you going to send these emails out? And figure out which day of the week that each segment is going to receive emails and at what frequency. And you'll also want to make note of what time you're going to be sending these emails to people. And something that you want to note about this is if you're starting your email plan from scratch, if you don't do email marketing at all, or maybe you do and you send emails out a couple times a month, but you don't really have any data to track on it, that's okay. You don't have to have all of that right off the bat. It's going to take some trial and error for you to figure out, well, this list opens my emails more often at noon than they do at 2 o'clock. And that just takes testing it. You have to send them the emails at noon, and then the next week send them the emails at 2 and see what time frame fits best for them. So it's okay to not have a super clear plan, but you have to start somewhere with it and figure out what you're going to do to test it. And then as the months and the weeks progress, you'll be able to look back on the data and see when each group of people opens the email and when they click on the links and what your best results are. But you can't do that without determining a schedule and starting somewhere. Step 6 is that you need to build your email format and content. So that's taking in mind your goal and your target audience and the list that you're sending it to, and building that content to match what they're likely to respond to. So for the email about shoes, you're going to build your email catered, if it's about sneakers and you're sending it to people who run, you're going to build the email catered around like, this is a really great shoe for running. And you want to start big and bold and invite them in with something catchy but truthful, and then funnel them down into ultimately the conversion that you want, the goal that you want, which is buying the shoe. And then last but not least is step 7, tracking your results, which ties back into scheduling. You can't build your schedule, you can't fine tune your schedule without being able to track it. So with every email that you send, you should be monitoring the results from it to better hone in on your strategy with what works and what doesn't. And I'll take you guys through how we track our emails and what data we use to be able to better hone in on our email marketing strategy. So for tracking email marketing results, there's 3 really important things that you need to be sure that you're tracking. That's open rate, click-through rate, and conversion rate. And in the blog post that I had one of my team members link, it talks about how open rate isn't the most important thing to track. You should definitely track it and be aware of it, but people opening your emails doesn't determine the success of your emails. What really determines the success of your emails is the clicks and the conversions, with conversions obviously being the most important because that means that your goal was achieved. The sale was won, the contact form was submitted, someone made a phone call. So what we do is I keep everything in a spreadsheet for our emails. First, I list the segment, so the list of people who are getting that email that I'm going to send out, and then I identify what campaign I'm sending out. So maybe it's the weekly sales campaign, and then the subject line of that campaign, and then I have a column for whether or not I have that email written. And when I do have it written, I link the document where it's located so I can easily find it when I need to. And then I go through and I identify what date I'm sending it, what time I'm sending it. I have a column for whether or not I've scheduled it. And when I have it scheduled, I highlight it in yellow and I write yes. And then when I go through and track my results of it, I mark it as sent and in green so that I know that I went through and I tracked the results for that one. And then I take note of the open rate, how many clicks I've had, and how many conversions I had on that email. And then something to note is that you can also track your unsubscribe rate to help monitor your email relevance. So if you notice that you're sending an email to this targeted list of your segmented audience and you're getting tons of unsubscribes from it, that might be a good indication that those people really aren't resonating with what you're sending them. And you might need to go back in and reevaluate that list and that audience to see if you can either send them different kinds of emails or clean out the database to make it more catered to the right people that you want to target. So on that note, some less than stellar email marketing practices. The very first one is buying email lists. And that's where you go and you buy a whole database of information of people's names and emails, and you add them to your email list and you send them emails without them opting in to receive emails from you, which just really isn't super cool. And you're not going to be getting people necessarily who want to hear from you. So you probably won't have the best conversion rate from that because they didn't say, hey, I want to hear from you. I want to know what you guys have going on. I want you to send me emails. So it's just not a great practice to follow and something that you definitely want to stay away from. And then the second not so great email practice is not including or highlighting the unsubscribe button. And that's actually it goes against CAN-SPAM. And CAN-SPAM is a set of compliance guidelines for businesses on how they're allowed to send promotional emails. And one of the things that they highlight is you have to have an unsubscribe button somewhere on your email. Whenever someone gets an email from you, they have to have the option to opt out of those emails. And that's for email campaigns. That's not for like individual back and forth emails. You have to have the unsubscribe button. And then another not great practice is bait and switch techniques. So that's when you say something in the subject line is free, and then they open their email and it's not actually something for free. And it's misleading to them to open the email and find out, oh, actually this isn't something for free for me, or like free with the purchase of $100 or something like that. Like, it's not untrue. They do get something for free, but they have to spend $100 to get it. So you have to be careful about how you're targeting your emails. And really, when you think about it, the whole point of emails is to establish that trust with your customer. So if the email that you're sending isn't catered around establishing that trust, then maybe something needs to be changed, something needs to be retargeted, because that's not helping achieve the ultimate goal. And then another one that might be a shock to some people is using too many images. You like to think that images really help build your brand and help identify you, and that's true. But the way that most email hosting servers work and the way that most people have their preferences set up now is to block images. I'm sure that you've probably gotten an email where the whole thing is just white space or little X marks or little question marks because the images didn't come through, the server blocked them. And that can also be an accessibility issue if someone has a screen reader to read the emails for them and it's all images and there's no alt text, then they're not going to be able to read that email and they can't access it. They can't get the information from you, which again doesn't help build trust. It makes it a not great experience for the reader. And maybe next time they're just going to delete your email, or they're going to mark you as spam because they can't read any of your emails anyway. So try to stay away from using too many images. 1 or 2 tends to be okay, as long as you have some sort of alt text describing what the image is so that people with accessibility issues can access it. Or if it doesn't show up, you can see, oh, this image says watch now. So maybe it's a link to a video. And then broken links and not proofreading your emails, which happens to the best of us. It happens to me, but it doesn't do great things to establish trust. with your customer. And again, all ties back into establishing trust. If you're not proofreading your emails and not checking to make sure that your links work, let's say you write this really, really amazing email and you've convinced someone that they want to reach out to you, they want to contact you, and they click on the contact link and it's broken. That's not going to help establish trust with them, and they probably won't click on that link again because, well, last time it was broken, so why is it going to be fixed now? So just check and double check your emails, and things happen. Technology gets in the way sometimes, but just be mindful and check and double check whatever you're sending out there. So I'll take you guys through a couple of bad email examples and then some good email examples for you to work off of. So images. This really is just the epitome of why you shouldn't use too many images. So this is for, I pulled this email out of my trash. I went through my trash folder to find bad examples, and this was one of the first. I opened it and immediately trashed it. I didn't even read it. I didn't know what it was until I went through to make this presentation, and I read the email then, because when I opened it, it was all blank, just the little question marks. And you can see how much they relied on those images to build their email, because there's so many of them and none of them work. So it's not a great practice to have the entirety of the email be images. And I mean, there is text and there is the button and all of that stuff, but it didn't do any good because I just deleted it. So try to shy away from too many images. And if you do use a lot of images, or if you do use any images, I shouldn't say you just shouldn't use a lot of them, but make sure they have the alt text so that people can know what those images are supposed to be when they look at them. And then example number 2, this is all one email thread. So it starts up in the bottom left on July 10th, and she sent the initial email, hey, how are you doing? I want to sell you whatever this is. And then she follows up 4 days later, hey, how's it going? I want to sell you whatever this is. 2 days later, another email. And these are all responded to on the same email thread. And there's multiple different threads or multiple different emails of this. And it's not a great practice. Obviously, he's not responding. He's not interested in it. It's not a great thing to do. And that's where it comes off as being annoying, obviously. And then the last one, this is a good example of kind of a bait and switch. They open the email, you get the email that says, we've lost Arthur. So immediately you're wondering, well, who's Arthur? But the whole point of the email, if you actually read it, is to get you to look at their new website, which is cool and that's fine, but it comes across as pretty spammy almost, because it's not direct about what they want from you. It says, help us find Arthur by searching through the web pages, but it just doesn't hit the right way. It's a bait and switch technique. So those were some bad examples. And now we'll get into some good examples, some things that are good to keep in mind and good practices for you to use in your own email campaigns. So this is the first one. This is a really old email, but it was really good. It only had a couple of images, and if those images weren't there, it wouldn't affect the bulk of the email. She addresses me by name in the subject line and in the body of the text. It's clear what she wants me to do. She wants me to click to watch that video. A little bit more information, and then another link, and then the very clear unsubscribe link at the bottom. It's easy to read. It's not too much text, not too many images, pretty clear what she wants from me, what she wants to get from this email, and it's personalized to me. And then the second one, this is from Adobe. Again, it addresses me in the email. It has the name in the sender address, so it says Sean from Adobe instead of just from Adobe, so it makes me feel like I'm connecting with a real person. They want me to give input on Adobe Photoshop, and it says the survey should take about 12 to 15 minutes to complete, so it sets an expectation for what I should expect from this survey. The button's pretty big in the middle. Very clear that they want me to click on it. They give me incentive for what I can get from doing the survey. And this email, it worked. I mean, I clicked on the button, I filled out the survey. They did a really good job of connecting with me, giving me the incentive, adding value to what I was going to receive from filling out this survey for them. So they did a really good job with that. And then the last one, this is a reminder email for a panel event, and they give you details about the panel event. There's not too many images, but the images that there are, it's the pictures of the speakers, and it has their name and where they're from as well. So if the images don't come through, you can see like who each person is, and it funnels you down at the very bottom to register for the event. It's really well done, very clear and easy and concise to see what they want and what information they want to share with you. And then last but not least, we'll talk a little bit about some helpful tools that we use. One of them is MailChimp. It's an email sending service. It's great to help you build out email campaigns. You can make really nice looking email campaigns. You can track your segments. You can track your results that you're getting from it. There's tons of other different services out there. That's just one of the ones that we use for what we do. And then I mentioned a little bit earlier about HubSpot. Their email marketing certifications course is super duper helpful. And then another thing that we use is Campaign URL Builder. And that helps you to track the link clicks on your email campaigns. So when you send an email out and someone clicks on that link and then you get a conversion on your website, you can go back and track where that conversion came from to help measure the success of your email campaign. And then the last tool that I personally find super duper helpful is Google Docs. That's where I have my whole tracking spreadsheet, and that's where I write all of the email campaigns, and then I link them back on the spreadsheet. And it's helpful for collaboration and just keeping track of what you're doing. And with that, do we have any questions? Let me see if I can get this chat box up. There it is. Oh, we've had some questions going on. Do we have any other questions now that we've finished up the bulk of the presentation? Thank you, Suzette. Any other questions, guys? Oh, you're welcome. If you have more later, please feel free to reach out to us. You can email sales@webfeatcomplete.com. You can give us a call. We have contact forms on your website if you want more information as well. We'd love to talk with you and help you out. Let me see if I can get this. There we go. Here's our full suite of digital marketing services. We do website design, hosting, social media, Google ads, wow, words, social media advertising. What is too many marketing emails? Too many marketing emails would be the amount of emails that you send if you don't get any kind of response, if you're not getting any kind of conversions from them. And also that might not be an indication that you're sending too many emails. It just might not be that they're retargeted. Like I said earlier, as long as you're sending emails that add value to your customers and to the people that you're sending them to, there really isn't such a thing as too many. Obviously, don't send them 5 emails a day to the same email list. Probably isn't a great practice. So use your best judgment on that. But as long as your focus is adding value to them, you're going to see some results. Any video to teach us how we can create email marketing? Oh, you're welcome, Justin. Email marketing by using MailChimp. I don't personally have a video. I'm sure you can find them, but I don't personally have one. But MailChimp is pretty easy and pretty straightforward. Once you get into the nitty-gritty of it, you just have to really sit down and practice with it to learn how to use it. Embedded images versus attached files. So that image, the example that I had from Toyota, those were embedded images. Attached files won't necessarily show up in the body of the email at all times. They'll show up as attachments. So you've probably seen situations where people have images in their email signatures. Those sometimes show up as attachments and kind of throw off the view of the email. Yes, thank you, Ray. We can add that to our video list in the future for sure. So strategies on increasing your email list. That actually, as I was going through and making this presentation, that got added to my list of things that we could do a webinar on. That can be a whole webinar in and of itself, increasing your mail list. So definitely be on the lookout from that. We'll be sending out emails about more upcoming webinars. But I'm glad you mentioned it to see that people are interested in things like that. That's awesome. Do we have any other questions? I'm gonna scroll through. Yep, I'll definitely add that to our list of, we do webinars. We're going to be doing them monthly, so I'll add that to a list of one of the things that we do a webinar on. But our next one on August 19th is Google Ads, and I can't watch this chat while I'm like trying to talk. Sorry, guys. Our next webinar is on August 19th. It's about Google Ads and how to get your money's worth out of it. And you can sign up for that on our website. As far as buying lists, there's places to buy them online, but I wouldn't recommend it at all. And then if you're interested in following us on social media, we will post information about upcoming webinars then. So we'll post about the Google Ads webinar so that you can join in on that one as well. I'm not entirely sure. What are your thoughts on these tools? I'm not entirely sure what those are, if they're data buying tools, but I wouldn't recommend them. Do we have any other questions? Ray's going to send the link of where to register for the future webinars for us. Oh, you're welcome. This chat is going crazy. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for participating and asking questions. And we'll send out, like I said in the beginning, we'll send out a follow-up email after this. It'll include the video of the webinar, the link to sign up for more, and the link to the blog post that we have. Any other questions? There's still a few of you guys in here. You're welcome. Yes, if you want to be involved in future webinars, you'll have to use the webinar registration link. And you'll sign up and it'll send you what the Zoom link is for that one, and then you'll get added to a list as a reminder for the future ones. And we'll send out that link as well in the follow-up email. Yes, good question, Ray. If you registered for this email, you're going to be automatically put on our email segmented list for the follow-up email. You'll get a link to the next one, and you'll get reminder emails about the ones that we have going out. Thank you, Jake. Any other questions, friends? We will definitely add that growing your email list onto our list of future webinars for sure, probably in the next couple of months. Thank you guys for joining. Have a good afternoon. Yes, I will be sending out this presentation, the video of it, in a follow-up email. So I have emails of people who registered, and you'll all get thanks for joining email probably by the end of the day today with the whole presentation in it. You're welcome. I'm glad it was helpful. Yep, be on the lookout for it. Hopefully by the end of the day today, I'll have it out. If not, first thing in the morning, you'll get an email with the presentation, and it'll be up on YouTube for you. You're welcome. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end the meeting if there's no other questions. Thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you learned a lot, got some good information, and feel encouraged to start up your email campaigns for your company too. Thank you. You guys have a good rest of your day.